All right, good Tuesday evening. As you get in here, please do what you're supposed to do for the program. Please support the program by we don't ask for money. We just ask that you hit the like button. That's all we do. Actually, hit the like button and comment. Join the conversation. We're going to have a great conversation tonight. A lot to talk about. A lot of things have been happening in Georgetown County. Hello, everybody. Got a bunch of things we're going to go over tonight with the mayor. Of course, we're going to get an update on the water situation over there in Black River Mobile Home Park. From what I heard, they were served with another lawsuit from Mr. Thing. But I reached out to DHEC today. Thank you. I reached out to DHEC today, and they don't know. We'll get into that again. I did reach out to them today and to find out, what was going on about this situation, because I saw another news article, which I'm going to share with you guys here in a minute. But a lot of crazy stuff, man. Again, let's get all of the volunteers to reach out to AHS Football and sponsor a meal. They still have some spots open. Please reach out to Coach Durham over at Andrews High School and support the football team with a pregame meal. And tonight we're going to get into, I need to encourage you to do this first. Let me remove this. I encourage everybody to go over to download the Town of Andrews app or go to the website. It is, it's a great place for information. I promise you that. Let me see what we got here. Oh, there we go. a second. Let me send you a link. Should be. Got it right there. I don't know what that is. Hold on a second. Let me get the right link here. I got you. That's not the right link. Let me send the right link right now. All right. Copy this. And I'll drop this on your right here. Boom. There we go. That's the right link right there. All right. Let's see what we got here. Let's download this. I wonder will I be able to turn it. I got it sideways here. Let's get the other one there. And this is this thing. Okay, got you here. All right. Good evening, Miss Jerry Davis, and thank you for the stars. Jerry Davis, one of my longtime supporters. I mean, you know what I mean? She comes in and is a part of the conversation, and she supports me financially by buying stars, which you all can do if you want to, but if you don't want to, just hit the like button. That'll to serve the same purpose to support the broadcast, so that we can continue to bring you this high quality information that we do every Tuesday night. But let me pull this up here and encourage you all to go over to boom. All right, device not connected there, Mayor McCleary. I see you in there, but it's saying the device not connected. All right, let's go to there you go. There you go. Let me share the screen. Okay, stop screen share. And let me share it again. All right, let's bring you up here, Mir. Well, you went out again. Screen share. All right. All right, there you go. It's going in and out there. All right, but I'm gonna encourage you guys to go over and download the app, Town of Andrews app. There it is right there. It's everything Town of Andrews in your pocket. Great information, but I'm gonna do there's been a lot said about the water bills, and there's a lot of misinformation. And what's crazy about that is that there's no need for there to be any misinformation when it comes to that, because bring the mayor up, because and Mayor, I'll get, let me get this music off the background here first. First of all, good evening, sir. How are you?
Oh, still trying to recover. Long week. Long exhausted week, but we're here.
Yep. I was encouraging everybody to go over to the website, because I found some information over there today, and I'm gonna do some I'm gonna have to break it up into short videos. And what I'm gonna do is go through the town ordinance. This is chapter 17 when it comes to utilities, because this is the big conversation in the news and everywhere else when it comes to the town of Andrews. And this what you're looking at here, guys, is the ordinance that dictates what the town can and cannot do when it comes to your water bill. But we're gonna get into that. Matter of fact, I'm not even prepared to do that. But I'm gonna work on something And the reason I brought that up is because, guys, you can go to the town's website and all of the ordinances and the all these different things can be found and read for yourself, because there's a lot of misinformation involved with that. Misinformation seems to be the misdirection. Misinformation seems to be the order of the day. I saw this news article right here. This news report. Where is it? Okay, I see it right here. Let me pull it up. It was done by the Channel 5 News. I want to pull it up and play it. It had a lot of very unprofessional. It was some unprofessional reporting on just as far as when it comes to fact based and substance based. It was all over the place. But let me bring this up here right to share this with you and get your reaction to it. All right, here we go. And we are boom. Can I get you to play? Okay.
This all comes after the landlord received a more than $150,000 outstanding water bill after nearly 20 months of missed payments. Our Tiana Maxwell joining us in studio tonight. And Tiana, you spoke to the attorney.
All right. Also, Mayor, if there's a point in here where you want me to stop this, let's do this. Just say stop it right there, and I can stop it.
Okay.
And all of this, break down what residents are facing.
Yeah, Michael. Well, those outstanding payments led to a water shutoff for neighbors in the Black River Mobile Home Park in the town of Andrews.
Okay, I'll stop it right there. The Black River Mobile Home Park is not in the town of Andrews. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, actually, in a different county. It's in Williamsburg County, which we have. They're just, that account is just one of several that we have in Williamsburg County, but it's not in Georgetown County at all Andrews. It's not even extended. Yeah, so
my point in picking this apart is to point out the fact that, because I'm not trying to say, oh, well, they wrong when they talking about Andrews. I just want people to pay attention to what they're listening to, because just because she has on a nice dress, she looks good, well lit, it's not always, you know what I mean? You got to pay attention. The details matter. And so let's finish this out. Here we go.
And while water has been restored for now, the attorney tells me they are still looking for solutions. An over $150,000 bill was sent to Tim Woodbridge, a landlord who owns 35 lots in the Black River Mobile Home Park in the town of Andrews. Now, Woodbridge's attorney says a water pipe break under the roadway last year led to a leak of about 1 million gallons of water. Woodbridge is taking legal action against Williamsburg County and the town of Andrews over the ownership of the water pumping station, water pump maintenance, and responsibilities like the roadways. Lawsuit documents say Woodbridge was first notified in March about deficiencies of a water collection pump that distributes fresh water to residents. Documents state the issues were not
This is driving me crazy.
corrected, but it's still unclear whether Woodbridge or the county government owned the pump station. Attorney Tom Winslow says recognizing who is responsible for the outstanding bill is not the only issue for the area.
The issue we have, truthfully, is a long-term issue. It's not even a current today issue. What happens in 5 years from now when people sell their lots or sell their properties? Does the next person just inherit this problem, or are we actually trying to find a permanent solution?
Now, the lawsuit is asking for monetary relief for damages, negligence, and slander. The mayor of Andrews says he is unable to comment on pending legal. matters. And now a public meeting with the attorneys, Town of Andrews, and the State Department of Environmental Services will take place on June 25th at 1
That must be in 2026. But go ahead.
p.m. to find solutions and ownership of that pump station.
All right, that's enough. All right, Mayor. Now I do understand that there is a lawsuit in place, so there's. I understand, you're limited in what you can speak on, but
Well, first of all, I didn't. No one from that station talked to me. I was at a conference, so that I learned about this thing when when it popped up in my news alert.
So maybe they spoke to the mayor pro tem.
No, he was with me too.
So hold on now. This lady said they spoke to the mayor of Andrews, and he said he couldn't comment on litigation. And you saying you didn't speak to these people?
No.
This is why right now y'all should be hitting that like button on Welcome to Andrews the Podcast. This is why you should be hitting that like button right now on Welcome to Andrews the Podcast. Okay? So all right.
I'm looking for a text message here that came. Hold on a second. Go ahead. You can carry on.
So all right. So you didn't speak with the news. They spoke with this lawyer. That's the attorney that is representing Woodbridge, right?
Yes. Uh-huh.
And he said something about they said, well, again, I don't want to get into details of it because it's just, to me, it's ridiculous. Like, when did this question about ownership of the pump come up?
Well, here's the deal. Yeah, and this is not crossing any because the facts are the facts. All of that information they just covered is inaccurate. There's no water station that's in question. It's a sewer lift station. So actually, it's the entire system. So I sent you I don't know if you were able to download or upload this little drawing that I have that I used at the I've always used since I became familiar with this.
All right, hold on a second.
In their system.
Let me pull that
up. That'll be helpful to help folks understand what's happening.
Okay, and also I got a PDF from last week.
Yeah, that may be helpful.
Yeah, let me see if I can find this image first, though. Okay, bing, bing, boom. All right, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to manipulate it, but I mean, you could talk through it right here. Let's see. When I say manipulate it, I mean turn it. So is this the document you're referring to?
Yes.
Okay. All right, and I got the other one queued up also.
Can it? So you can't
turn it sideways?
Yeah.
I tell you what. Give me a second. Let me. Is that in that PDF?
What, the one I just sent you?
This image right here.
It should be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me find that PDF. Let me find it. It was in my email. Let me find it. So you guys got a meeting scheduled for the 25th with DHEC and these people?
No. Whether it's June 25 or July 25, there's no meeting.
So the news station hasn't reached out to you to this point. In regards to what that attorney had to say.
I think there was a text message. I'm not sure it was probably. I spoke to several of those news stations. Throughout over the last couple of weeks. I am looking for a text that came in when I was at the conference, and whoever that was, I let them know that I wasn't available because I'm at a conference. Now, it may have derived to what she said from that, but that's the part. That's immaterial. That part. What really matters is this business about this meeting.
DHEC say they don't know nothing about this.
I have no idea what it is. And think about it. It wouldn't be a meeting that we would have if we have a pending lawsuit. So that wouldn't make any sense in the first place.
Yeah,
So
that's what I said. How would you meet prior to the lawsuit?
Yeah, and this is there's no mediation set, none of that stuff. So that I don't know, maybe they're meeting with someone, but not the town of Andrews. And yeah, this doesn't make any sense. And there's no water line that was broke under the road. It was actually on that property. So when you get to that slide, I'll be able to talk you through that to help you understand the jurisdiction of what we're talking about. So a lot of things that just, is just inaccurate.
Yeah, I picked that up too when I was going through this document right here. When you say inaccurate, because the big conversation in Andrews is the water bills, and
well, that's only with a select group of folks in the first place. So but things get blown out of proportion. Like you got a few people speaking for the entire town. That's not accurate at all either. So.
Yeah, because I went through this thing line by line today, and again, I'm gonna do a video breaking it down. It's not even a breakdown. I'm gonna do a reading of it so that you guys will be clear on the rules, and all of these things can be found on the town's website. These ordinances, these it's not hidden. When they say transparency, I didn't have to call the town and say, "Hey, let me get a copy of Chapter 17 over when it comes to the what." And what's interesting is, from my side out on the street, some of the people that's driving the negative conversation are actually some of the people that signed the legislation to put these rules in place, which I found, remarkable.
Yeah. Well, again, and folks understand ordinance is the law. It's the town's law, basically. And we have to follow those things. Now you can apply some common sense of things that are not necessarily clear to folks, but by and large, this is a pretty good document that was established in 2003. Okay, and now along the way, since I've been in the chair, we've established a few ordinances, like the tall grass, things that really matter that keep us all in line. But the ordinance is there, and it's a good document. We just didn't do a very good job of following it. And so when you start to apply those things, then it seems strange to folks who's not familiar with it or who haven't taken the time to read it.
That is a reoccurring theme in small town politics, where they have these beautifully written documents, but they can't seem to follow it to the letter.
It's not a complicated document, to be honest with you. It's and those things are vetted through legal to ensure that town ordinance doesn't attempt to supersede state or federal. So all of this thing is nested into that to create again the laws that's specific to the town of Andrews. That may not apply in Georgetown or anywhere else, and it's not designed for that. But it's for those things specific to the town of Andrews for us to govern. And so those are our guardrails.
And I think that document that I'm talking about is helpful in understanding this Black River thing, as far as that this is not the Tim Woodbridge is the customer.
Yeah, he's just like the other 1,600, whatever the total number is. You are a customer, and you're held to the same standards, and nothing different. There's no provisions in there say that because you're a business, you get exception to this, or you a development owner or park owner, or a single family home. It all applies to everyone, from me throughout. So there's no special provisions. Now there are times when we come, you have to look at some things, some exception or consideration. I think exception to probably, but consideration based on, whatever the extreme conditions may be. It could be an elderly person who has this, and if they miss, a deadline, paying the bill, we may look at those things and say, okay, work with them, and we do it all the time. But in the case we're talking about, this is far beyond reasonable, and so we apply those things that we have a fiduciary responsibility to ensure that we enforce those policies. And that's our obligation to the town, not the town's obligation to an individual.
You don't have a fiduciary obligation to Tim Woodbridge?
No. To no one person or company, none of that business. Again, it all applies to all of us. And there's things in there, and if you're not in good standing with the town, certain things apply. And again, that's written in there as well. So, and I think the bottom line, we encourage them to go not just to chapter 17. Anything that you can think of really is in that binder or in that ordinance. That kind of gives you an idea, whether it's coming down to permitting, to bill,
licensing, they got everything.
All that, it's in there.
Yeah, if you got a question, it's there's an answer.
Yeah. It tells you, it kind of lays out, especially, again, back to the water bill thing, all that the instructions on your water bill, it's also reflected in your ordinance. It's got to be. So that's by law. And we have what's called, and again, it's in the ordinance that talks about a fee schedule. So that tells you all things that we have to apply a fee to, whether it's a, ticket, whatever the case may be, it's in that schedule. One document that tells you all things that you could be, a cost is associated with. Yeah, that's helpful, right? That's good. The other one is kind of, is a little clearer because it shows a little bit clearer where the town's limits are. What this does for us, the yellow circle kind of outlines where the system is. So there's some conversation about how many homes is owned by one person and the other. That's not the issue. It's not the issue how many property. It's that this thing here kind of depicts, again, it's a graphic depiction of the water and sewer system coverage area. Okay, that's what's important. It's about the system itself, not about who's the ownership of a particular house or mobile home. It has nothing to do with that. It's about the system. So that blue circle shows you where this problematic lift station is.
The one that was dumping the where the sewage was being dumped,
going in, creating its own small pond just on the backside of it in that wooded area in the direction of Black River, which is a huge problem. The red, it says that the red is where the town's system and infrastructure ends. So it runs from, if you go moving backwards away from the yellow circle, that takes you back to County Line Road. And so our system comes off of County Line Road, runs up Israel. That line is along Israel Drive, I believe it is. And then the circle at the end of that line depicts on where our system is. We own one lift station and one master meter, and that's where the account holder is now responsible for the readings. That's a good shot there. I'm not so sure where. Yeah, you can see down the lower right side, where the first photo. Yeah, so the lower right side, you see a blue top trailer to the right. If you move back to the left towards the road, you'll see some objects there, and that's the lift station and the master meter. That is the extent. That is a limit, whatever you want to call it. That's as far as Andrews go in terms of being responsible for maintaining anything when it comes down to water and sewer. Now, and again, all of this is on the west side of the County Line Road, which is in Williamsburg County. So as far as the eye can see, looking west, that's all Williamsburg County. And to my knowledge, Williamsburg County don't have any infrastructure other than maintaining, I think, the paved roads, I believe. But again, that would be up for Williamsburg County folks, to speak to. But so anything happens beyond that little red circle has absolutely nothing to do with the town of Andrews. There's no question in our minds about that, beyond that point. It's not ours. and it's documented. So all of that and all of our systems, both the water and the sewer system, is documented and permitted by the Department of Environmental Services. Because annually they are, or anytime they want to, they can come out and inspect our system, and to again to ensure that we are in compliance with state regulation and federal regulations as well. If you call back in the late '90s, when we weren't in compliance with the treatment facility, that facility was lost, and they had to come up with another solution we've talked about 100 times to ensure that waste is treated and properly moved on that kind of business. But there's no question. So what you see here, and again, if you can, this is just a that lift station I was just talking about inside of a fence area, and we just replaced that. It's practically brand new a couple of years ago, and that is designed again to move the waste that comes from this area to the collection site and on off to the treatment facility. That's it. I think that was about $750,000 project, and we got a grant for that. So that's a brand new station, and it's working properly. And that's it. That's where our response. So all this other, discussion about what's happening on the inside, or what the previous owner may have said, and all this kind of other business, that's none of my concern. So I don't care who owned it. It could be Jamal Richardson who owned it. It's yours.
So prior to this, he paid his water bill.
Yeah. These things didn't go. Just generally speaking, as opposed to speaking just to this individual. Generally speaking, when we had to go back because we obviously had some issues with the entire system. When I say system, I'm talking personnel, equipment, meters, whatever the case may be. We had to figure out what was causing some of these issues. And again, it wasn't 100% across the board. It was in certain areas, but enough that concerned us that said, okay, let's stop here and go back and try to figure this thing out. There is no historical map or anything that tells you, go look in this area. So all of this was discovery learning. So it took some time. During that period of time, we did not apply any penalties or any shutoff, but every account holder received water that entire time. There was a period of time about July where we really forgave some of the water usage, which we didn't have to, because again, if your account wasn't off, then you should pay. Now, again, I always say 95% of the folks, 95, probably a little bit higher, continue to pay their bills because they know they were getting the water. So an honest person will tell you, yes, I got the water. I was never interrupted. And so there was no separation or nothing applied differently to any other account. Everybody was on that timeline. So about September of last year, everything got, back on track, and we began then to now, if you did not pay like the other 95+%, then you have accumulated a high water bill. That's everybody. That's not just the account we're talking about. There was quite a few people that took risks, thought that they were, this water usage was going to be forgiven. Well, again, this is a major revenue that we need again to sustain the system.
Well, I asked a friend that's not from Andrews, just kind of throwing it out there, and I wanted to see what the mindset was. I asked him, hey man, if you were in a house and you didn't receive a water bill, a lot of people really, and I mean genuinely, believe like it's monopoly, like bank error bank error in their favor.
But it wasn't an error; it was a conscious decision.
Yeah, and that's the way. Because I was trying to figure out, like I said, so you wouldn't? No, man, I wouldn't. And no, and I mean, would sit and then allow this stuff to build up, and it's a mindset. But and like you said, it's a small group.
It's a very bad assumption, even after you have been given a huge break in your usage. And again,
that's the key part of this. And so you got the big break.
and then your services wasn't interrupted, that's considered a blessing. The town was in a position to do that while we sort things out. Now, when we got back on board, those who decided to take risk, assuming that there was going to be another one, that we can't afford to do that. We didn't tell you we were going to do it in the first place. It was a decision made, and we moved forward with it. And so this accountant and others who sat back and said no. Now, the difference between this account and the others who took risk, the rest of them paid theirs. They're getting caught up. But for whatever reason, some remain, and I think there may be a couple others that remain unpaid, and then they have to go through this process for the town to collect what's due. Unfortunately, and the other difference is you're not talking about a single family home, which the cost obviously wouldn't be that much. You're talking about an account that's responsible for 40 plus residents. So when you start doing the math, you got to look at this as 40 times a single, and then you look at the usage, and you look at a system that is not that is in severe, dilapidation. You're gonna have tremendous water loss, and so then it's and over that extended period of time, you can expect that you have have high water usage, regardless of whether you're home or not. A simple leak, if your faucet is dripping, your meter's ticking. It's that simple. That's what the only thing that moves that meter is water that's passing through. And if you have an open source, an open line, an open spot along
the toilet, you could have a bad fluid master.
Yeah, that's common sense.
Mm-hmm.
So none of that has anything to do with who, trying to figure out who owns the property. That's not my concern. That's somebody else, it's not my concern or the town's concern if there's a potential, cross contamination, if it's not the town's system or ownership. That's not the town. All we know is we have an account. We have everybody who has water service has an application on file. And that's who's held responsible for ensuring that they're in good standing with the town. It's that simple. And so if you look down at 17.403 down at the bottom, to talk about billing and water and sewer, it tells you each monthly bill shall become effective on and after the first day of the month. And if any account remains unpaid after the 10th of the month, the following month, which it's a little difficult to see here, the service.
Let's see. You reading part B. If any bill remains unpaid by the 10th of the month following the month for which the service was rendered, a penalty of 10% shall be added.
Yep. And then it goes on. You go to page 199. It talks a little bit more. And again, this dates back to 2003. It's not new.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the top of 198 where it says the establishment of rates. That's what you were talking about. Where it says the mayor and council shall establish a schedule, of fees for services rendered by the water and sewage system.
Yeah.
Said schedule shall be reviewed periodically to ensure that it's equitable and fair to the users and the town.
Yes. And so that is voted on. If there's any during the budget year, which again, we just completed that here the first in June. So for the first of July starts a new year. And so all of this goes through that same thing. So it has two readings. So May and June is when council gets to vote on this thing, yay and nay, as well as the schedule fee. And so that is law. We can't arbitrarily, up the fees throughout the year, if we feel that we're not, generating enough revenue.
You're a little bit short.
Yeah, you can't do that. So these are the things that I call them guardrails. This is what keep us in line. And then not only that, back to your point you made earlier about transparency. This is transparent. It won't be transparent to you if you don't know what the rules are, if you haven't read it.
And the man, guys, this stuff is interesting because I've heard people say so. By law, when you have somebody come in and do work on your place, it's supposed to be somebody with a license.
Yeah, all plumbing. It says in here. Otherwise,
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Any plumbing. And also I saw in here where where to say that you got to be on the town system. All this is in these documents right here.
Yes, and again, that's driven by DHEC. If you're so obviously if inside the jurisdiction of the town of Andrews, you have to be on the public system. That's driven by higher EPA, DES, and that kind of business.
Septic
and it
tanks.
says that. I'm sorry.
That's because that's the thing. Septic tanks, folks. Like I got to septic tanks may be used where approved by DHEC, where sewer lines are not accessible. Or excuse me, that says accessible. I guess it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
It was supposed to be accessible. I guess the same. I don't know. Provided, however, comma, that no new or additional septic tanks be approved where sewer lines are provided.
Yeah, and it gets back to the public safety. Raw sewer is very dangerous. If it gets into your storm drain or it gets into your drinking water, come on, nobody wants that. So this is governed by DES and federal and EPA. And
so what happens if you in the town of Andrews and you're not connected to the sewer, connected to the town's sewer?
Oh, well, you have to be. So you can't arbitrarily just go create a septic tank without approval. So if you do that, DHEC is involved, so you got to go through them for approval, and then they will come to us. Even if you're outside, what's key in here too, if you're within 300 feet of a public system, you're required to be. You got to
be on it. I saw that. That in there.
Now there's some other language in there that talks about, if you have one in the past and it's still then it's serviceable, but as soon as it becomes, unserviceable, you have to be. So it covers it all. This even applies to the folks that we service across in the Williamsburg County area in certain points along there, because there was one incident a year or so ago where a gentleman wanted to be have his own septic tank as opposed to on the system, which they were within that, at 300 feet, and it was not approved. We didn't approve that. Get on the system. So again, we maintain it. We'll be responsible for our portion of it. And then, DHEC wouldn't worry about, again, the risk of contamination spreading all over the place. And that's just the way it is. And I will tell you, there's even conversation at higher levels. They don't necessarily want small towns or intermediate or medium towns or whatever size you want to call them operating their own system. They have been pushing for some time now to make this a regional system.
Because I can see where you can get into trouble if you hire your brother Cletus to be the the waterman. You end up with brown water like the folks over in Denmark.
Yes. So just because you own your house, that's all you own. You don't have responsibility for public safety beyond your property, and that's what this agency is for. And then so as the town, the municipality, then again through home rule, and all that other business, the governor allows mayors and councils to do certain things, but you have to do them in accordance with state standard. And if you don't, you can lose your permit. And you lose your permit, you lose your system.
No doubt. I'm gonna do these breakdown videos. I'm saying breakdown videos, but I'm gonna do like each section, and I'm gonna do these videos, and then I want you to definitely come back on and help us go through, because it's all of the rules that govern the town of Andrews can be found online. It's not hidden. It's public information.
Yeah, and that you just like anything else. If we read and understand it, then you'll have less questions, or operating on somebody else's opinion, or thinking that one person, the mayor or the council, has the authority to unilaterally change things or put new things in place without that's going through this whole, council and public hearings. That's why it's important for folks, when we have a public hearing, regardless of what it's for, your input is wanted. Now, at the end of the day, the body is going to do what's best for the town, as opposed to an individual or one family. But it's important to hear, what's on the people's mind. But generally, no one shows up, and this is for years. No one shows up, and so then when things start to happen, and they'll see it coming through on bills or whatever the case may be, or there's the code enforcer shows up and tell them that you can't do certain things, and you're like, well, where did this come from? Well, it was at the same, the meeting that you didn't attend, on this day. We are obligated by law. This is where transparency comes in, because we have to do these things by law, and then we have to have these type things accessible online and or at town hall or whatever the case may be. So none of this is a secret. It's a secret when you don't take the time to read it.
Wow. It says here, I mean, and again, yeah, this it's worth a read. You read a lot of stuff. This is worth a read. It says here, sewer service disconnected. It shall be unlawful for any occupant to reside in a residence or other building more than 5 days after the sewer service has been disconnected. These are all.
And it also is a lot of things we've dealt with over the years, is that, folks move out and don't come in and and fill out this form that says, okay, I no longer need service. But what happens is, if you don't do that,
you're still getting billed.
You're still getting billed for, it may not be any usage, but it's going to be a flat rate because you're charged for being on the system. So you have to come in and take those steps to get this, whether you mail it in or whatever the case may be, to let us know that you no longer need service at said resident. That happens all the time, especially in rental properties. People just leave and move from point A to point B, and a lot of them will leave. And if you leave a bill, and it also reads in there, if you leave a bill, then the town is not obligated to, don't have to give you service or approve a business license if you're in debt to the town. So all of that stuff is in there. It's not. Again, it's a pretty good document, and you can tell here it's an easy read.
It is. It's not complicated at all. You see connection fees, late charges. It breaks down disconnection services, delinquent charges. It breaks it all down. Sprinkler systems, hydrants, hoses, connections, violations. It breaks it down. And so again, I'm gonna dive into that a little more.
Look at you just pulled up 17405.
Okay. That is no free service. It shall be unlawful to furnish water or sewer service free of charge to any person, firm, or corporation. Well, that was done in Andrews for years before you got here.
Yeah, and if you have multiple homes, not an approved mobile home park, but if you're a single family home, everybody should be on their own meter. But we're still dealing with some of that, some of that legacy.
Yeah, well, 1 meter, 2 houses. The trailer in the back.
That's unlawful, and again, there's penalties for that.
A separate meter shall be installed for each dwelling unit or business establishment which makes use of water furnished by the town. And these are Frank McClary rules. No, these are before you got here.
Hey, someone's asking, where can you find it? It's online on the town's website.
I'm gonna pull that up for you there. It's www.townofandrews.com. And
I mean, it talks about livestock, in the town, all those things that, and again, now the code enforcement has done a wonderful job, addressing these things, which again cause a lot of angst. You'll have, one person, hey, this structure or this building is really, making the neighborhood look bad. And here comes a code enforcement officer, does what she's supposed to do, starts to enforce this thing. And then we'll get complaints from the property owner. But again, it's all in writing. So we, you're not going to be able to make everybody happy at the same time. But as long as we all operate off of the same understanding and guidelines
under this Constitution,
yeah, and so
essentially,
yeah, it is. That's what governs Andrews. And again, these ordinance, it's not a one size fit all for any other municipality. This is specific to the town of Andrews. But you will see, as I talk to some of my colleagues from other municipalities, large or small, same kind of guidelines and same type ordinance. We all have the same challenges and a lot of the same rules, man. So it's not.
All right, guys, if you're looking for these documents, you see, go to the town website, and there's the app right there, and all the stuff that's on here. You see where it says documents. Up here it says explore. You just go to documents, and you got forms. And what's all in forms?
I'm sorry.
What's all in forms?
So the forms will probably be application, whether it's a job application, it could be a permit.
Application for water service, business license
service.
application.
Yeah.
This is where you get all this in. Safety change of occupancy permit application, variance application. This is where you get all your stuff at right here on here. You rezoning application. That's what I was about to say. If you want something rezoned, there's where you can find the application and go through the process.
And that's been another challenge because again, and I don't know how it's done before, but again, we are responsible for public safety inside of the city limits or the town limits. So then we have a third party professional organization that enforces or educate, whatever the case may be, folks on permitting or building, you name it. They cover all of that stuff. So if you're talking about building something onto your house or a new structure, you gotta fill this form out. It goes through this, which is Safe Build in this case, and then that process starts, and then they deal directly with that homeowner on the specific. Just like Tractor Supply being built right now, those guys have to get clearance on whether it's electrical, whatever. It's a part of that project. It has to be approved by this company, and that's to ensure then that things are being done by certified people. It's being done according to this approved concept or architect, and then we move on. But when you try to go around it, I recall it was one guy, really trying to rehab a place, and he was trying to do it himself, and I mean, literally had 2 2x4s connected as a center beam holding up the roof, and could not understand why we wouldn't allow that to happen. For whatever reason, Andrews is in the path of a lot of these bad storms, man. And so these things get to howling and blowing things around. If we'll knowingly allow someone to build or to, add something to their home and it collapse on them, we could be held liable for that. So we're sticklers on that. And that's just the way it has to be because it's life, life and safety, all things applied is what we have to consider.
Yep. And so this stuff is on these are the town codes. The water bill, the utilities is chapter 17. Is there like 20 chapters? I'm right here in chapter 13, and this is the police. And this breaks down to how the police is the mayor shall appoint such other officers and employees as may be required. This comes to the police department. So if you guys have any question about the mayor's authority and what he can and can't do when it comes to the police department, it's all right here in black and white.
It breaks it down because this is in this form of government, which is the majority, I think, of the small or large city. It's the either it's a council strong or mayor strong form of government. And that's where we are here now. But again, we still have to operate in accordance with the rules and regulations. Let me answer Ms. Jessica Land.
I was going to answer that there. No, ma'am, they can't. And if you take your time and go through that ordinance, it'll tell you why. Because the Black River Mobile Home Park does not reside in the town of Andrews. Okay. They are a customer of the bank, and you can see in that ordinance where it allows for the mayor and the council. So say for instance, if there was a situation there where they wasn't dealing with this guy, and it was beneficial to the town, the town now they would have to pay for the go ahead.
Well, one thing, no, it's all of that from that point we were talking about in that red circle. Everything beyond that's in that yellow circle is private property. So that makes that person or whoever the owner of that system, that's his or her jurisdiction. We cannot go inside that circle to install a meter. Even under the conditions we're operating right now, if there's a break over there, I just heard that there was a home out of water because of the water line. They either going to have to fix it or he's going to have to get in there and fix it. We can't go beyond that point. Now we are outside of our jurisdiction. So our limit of advance, if you're a military person listening, our limit of advance or responsibility stops at that circle at the end of that red line. And that's the, for those who was at the town hall and listened in, jurisdiction in this case, I mean, is matters. In all cases, it really matters. And so when we were working out this emergency temporary solution to restore the water, it was only to have a direct line to the residents now and to town, not the property. So they're still, now that they're getting water, that water has to be paid for. The account that the original account is not being, is delinquent. So we're not worried about that. That's freezed in time and place until we go through this legal system or legal process. But in terms, in order to provide the folks again, on an emergency, public safety, health, that kind of business, they're now getting, paying their water bill or will be paying their water bill directly to the town. And once, as I told them, once this thing is sorted out and this account is back in good standard, then we have to back off because now you're back obligated to.
What was their response to that? Because I thought I heard that because I thought I heard some people say, "So you gonna turn us back over to like you gonna put us back in the hands of," and it's not a situation.
We don't have this again. These things we operate right now under, again, life or death situation. So we're being the municipality closest, the government. That's how we're approaching this thing. And now once again this thing is back, it's back in good standing, we have to back off and work with the person who has the account with the town. And so I can imagine the folks that are in there that, they said it. They're very concerned about that, just based on the history and the things that they have, they've dealt with over time. So I get it, but those are the rules and the laws. And so we're not, and so we're not in the business of trying to take over personal property in any conditions. We're just concerned about the life and health of the citizens in this particular case.
So you ain't gonna handle it like Trump, like we're gonna put a Trump Tower, put a Andrews, put a McDonald's on the Gaza Strip. I mean,
no, we can't do that. We can't take Iceland, just because we're the government. We can't take this property.
Yeah, we just buying countries. Man, that's awesome right there. And, we didn't reach that hour point. I guess this is not off topic, a big topic this weekend in Georgetown County. Not necessarily wanting a response from you, but I just wanted to bring up the fact that, were you aware that the good judge from Georgetown, South Carolina, Mr. O'Donnell, was arrested on domestic violence charges involving him allegedly throwing his wife from the vehicle? Were you able to catch up on any of this? Did you see any of the reports or anything?
No, again, I was out of town, but I saw it. It flashed on the news alert. It's a very sad situation all around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll say that. And now the one thing I was clear to say, even, when I was kind of tongue in cheek joking about it, because it's not a joking matter. It's a serious situation. You feel what I'm saying? Yep. This man got caught.
Has one of the highest rate of domestic violence.
Oh, and domestic violence that ends in homicide. That's one of the scary topics again, and things. So and I'm not sitting here trying to be a domestic violence expert. I don't know what happened between me and his wife. Me and this man's wife. I know that she ended up on the highway with a broken wrist. And one of my concerns is just watching the public, and I'm always watching the public response to things like this, and how quick people were this is a good man, and I don't doubt that this is a good man. I'm sure his grandkids think that, his kids probably think that, but we're not dealing with the good man. We're dealing with this situation right here, and so people were quick to, oh, no, and I think these type of high profile cases, take for example like the Murdaugh case down in Hampton County. These cases highlight some of the feelings that people have of the injustice of the justice system. How it's justice for me and not for thee.
Right.
And so, yeah, I just again,
it'd be interesting to follow. But yeah, it's just sad, man. Again, you're talking about the safety of people, and then from the position that he held, that becomes under scrutiny. It's no different from where I sit. Same different public figures.
You're held at a higher standard. You chose to be in that position,
right? Yes, and we're public figures, and we're going to catch it. We're going to catch the heat one way or the other, and so you have to be prepared for this, whatever comes. But if it's self-inflicted, then that's a whole different set of concerns. But a lot of this scrutiny, again, that what I see, what anybody else has selected is it comes with the parking space.
Yeah,
but this thing here, this is not good for a lot of different reasons.
And I had some people who've been through the system, and they just kind of made the offhanded remark saying they wonder did he go through the whole humiliation process, body cavity surge, squat and cough and all that other stuff. Was he afforded, and I don't have no way of knowing that unless the guard who booked him in would like to share that information, hit my inbox, or something like that. But it's curious. That's what I'm curious about.
Yeah, well, I don't know, but again, it's like we were talking about when you have rules, regulations, and procedures. The assumption is that it was followed, whether you're talking about what we have to do in this end or what they do in the detention in the law enforcement. And that should not be any different from any other person that has to be, processed in. I don't know.
I saw the difference in the media immediately. I was on the phone with a person. We were texting back and forth. They slow dragged releasing the mugshot. And I get taking time and making sure that the story is right, but releasing the mugshot on your website where people, the majority of the people don't go, is a slick way of it gives the look of what do you everybody else's. People can die on the highway and you dang near post the name and and everything before the family's notified. Not that the family has to be notified of, but my point is, again, if, something happened and I got caught out there, oh, you best believe before the picture even, the jail gonna call them, how you got this picture? And so, but that's just how it goes. So that's my concern is that.
Tell you now, there's the media coverage, whether it's the big media or these very popular social media platform. It is not fair.
No,
there is no fair and balance at all. There's other motivation. It could be monetary gains. You don't like the mayor of Andrews, you don't like Andrews, and you're going to get more press. You're going to get, you're going to be, It happens all. I'm accustomed
Man,
to it now.
if
I just ignore it.
you may need to somehow figure out how to monetize your name, because boy, listen, every time they put it on that other site over there, that Andrews KKK news site, they bruh, I'm talking about. Woo! You might be glad to see in 1955, because listen, we'd have to get the Panthers or something standing around that town hall, bruh. Because oh my God, that is the We Hate Frank McClary fan club over there.
Hey, they'll be all right. If that's all they have to do, then God bless them, man. You know, I don't worry about that. It's just, but it's sad because, you know, I'm sure it has some impact on, you know, folks want to come to the town or businesses. But again, you see, it hasn't stopped that, because our numbers are still moving in terms of whether it's people moving in or businesses coming in. But it's sad because you're really, you know, putting a lot of
hurting
effort
it for the children, for the kids. That's these selfish adults, you know what I mean, trying to satisfy themselves and not thinking about, okay, is this man trying to lay a foundation for the future of Andrews? Let's be honest with ourselves and see, what is he doing that is, okay, we know you're building that big house out in Williamsburg County, but we'll get back to that.
Hey,
man.
I would just hope that when these folks are having these conversations and then the reality, you know, when they're like, okay, there's no house, they should really look each other in the eye. Whoever just told you that lie.
That's who they should be looking at. The person who told you that lie. That person does not love you or respect you.
With them. Right. And stop dealing with them, because you just keep it, again, in the country. I heard, I don't know if I talked about it. A young lady, when she heard this thing, she actually literally got in her car, got her sister, came and found me. I mean, literally, I was walking out at the end of the day, and here comes this car barreling into town hall, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? Then I recognized who it was and said, hey, I just want to ask you, you know, they said, I heard you got a new house being built in the country. And I'm like, okay, which direction are you talking about, first of all? And they said, I drove out there and there's nothing there. I said, no. I said, if they're talking about what I have in Northern Virginia, then they're probably right. But I haven't built any new homes. And if I did, it's not the town of Andrews money. But your life becomes, you know, a public thing, which I will not entertain that foolishness. But what I say to them, when your source fails, then you probably need to stop talking to that person, because they're probably lying to you about some other things that's going on. It's crazy. Who has the time for that? You know, where you could be out here helping to build your town.
Unemployed pastors. My bad.
You're plotting to find something. If you read what we have online, and you come to the meetings and hear how things are progressing, then you'll be less likely to fall for this stupidity that you're listening to, or spending your time coming together in a sanctuary to plan to bring in the attorney general and calling the news people. And these people come down here and look at this thing. And that's what really upsetting. So this young lady who comes in, and you see all of this, you come in, I said, okay, what is the concern that you're hearing from these people? She says, this. And when she came in, my entire table was covered with all of the things, documents. Okay, here's the storm drain project that's ongoing right now. You can go to Cedar and on down to southward towards Myrtle Road. You're talking about any of the ordinances. Here it is right here. And in fact, I pulled them out. I pulled chapter 17 out so she could. None of that, and you still go back and doesn't.
No, that's not the job, but that's not what the media is.
Right.
That may have been their job or what they did in the past. But these people are.
And I agree, because so when I got a moment away and had time to reflect, I said, you know what? Why do you keep giving these people the benefit of the doubt that they're here to report accurately?
No,
because you're only one guy with authority. And if they lose you from watching their network, it doesn't matter. But all of these people, or this group of people who are coming to you, that's who watches you, because now you think you don't have another, your audience has built, which again, that rolls into, monetary gains for that network. So I get it. I will no longer assume that they're here to tell the truth or to dispel any of the rumors that again, a certain group of people have come together and drummed up these things, and then now here we go. And if they think that that's a way to run me out of Andrews, that ain't gonna happen. I was born on North Poplar, and so I'm not going anywhere.
But that's the thing, is that these like back to this Andrews KKK News SC News page, is that they
oh my God.
By reading that, you think, oh man, we got a demon. This is a good story. You know what I mean? We could take this this dictator type mayor down, and then they come in there and it's a totally different thing. And you would expect him to say, listen, we came in, we followed up the leads of the people, but here's what we found. New.
Oh yeah. The straight I saw, Rod, good friend of ours. Yeah. Now, and that's back on it. I know we talked about these dogs, and dogs are a problem. It's a problem.
Obviously, because, and I wanted to get this out. I'm sorry, but I can't pass this right now. Because according to the report, that's what happened. That's what the fight was about between him and his wife. Was
what,
who let the dog out? Yeah, who let the dog out? That whole thing there. So,
okay. That's what I was wondering how to get back on.
Yeah, I had to get back. But anyway, go ahead. But what's this?
Yeah. So it's a very serious matter, and there's I think a pack of dogs, about four of them, I believe, that's attacking pets and killing cats. And so we know the issue is for some reason. Well, I know it's not for some reason. In order to so we do pay taxes that that the sheriff department come pick up the dog. But the problem is not with the sheriff department. The problem is with St. Francis, that we don't have a contract. Well, it's $75,000 a year in order to get these animals policed up and placed in these facilities. That's $75,000 from a budget that's small. So now I don't know when this came about, but that's what I've learned since I've been here. That's my good. Oh, Rick, we're good friends, Rick, man. Leave my coats alone, okay? We'll have to talk about that in a minute. So then that's where the dilemma is: $75,000 annually, and it may be going up. So what we've done here,
$75,000 to house these dogs.
Yeah, you got to have a contract with them.
I got a solution right there. And we will relocate them to dog heaven. They will be at peace with their master. You won't have to worry about that dog problem. I know that's not a popular thing to say, but come on, what are we talking? $75,000 for dog? I can go get some homeless people out of Andrews and take that $75,000 and use that on them. Them dogs, I'm sending them to hell. I'm just gonna be straight up and down. And Peter and all of y'all direct your emails to me. But that enrages me.
Yeah.
That $75,000 for some stray dogs.
$75,000, man. Regardless of whether they pick up one or not.
Y'all give me $7,500. Give me $10,000, and I got the problem solved. I promise you. Don't ask about them dogs, but you won't see them.
Yeah. So what we're doing now is that we've through the help of one of our little junior persons, got on there as a part of her intern, and she found a company, a private company out of Conway that we're talking to right now that will come in and but we're going to have to, there's some legal things associated with that. So they'll come in and put in traps. Yeah.
Stray dogs got more rights than the daggone immigrants.
Oh, yeah. So before they can put traps in, there's got to be this thing with the public. And if your pet gets into this thing, they're not responsible. So it's all that has to happen. Because as you said, the laws that protects pets, man, is they enforce those things.
Oh, yeah. And Georgetown County has a tether law also that a lot of folks are not aware of.
So it's not that we can't do anything about it, or the sheriff department, dog animal control thing is not. They just know they can pick them up. There's no place to carry them, and so that doesn't make
I got a place to carry them.
Yeah. So it's not them. It's this this cost. But I think we have a solution now, so we'll begin to work on that. Now, Rick, man, you're gonna have to back off of the Colts, bro. So he's riding high now that the Eagles won the championship, and they didn't win it until he went back to Philly. But nah, that's a good friend there. Rick is a good guy. I know that, and I put all that stuff there just so for you Dallas Cowboy fans and all you other folks too. Yes, I wanted to wake you up. The season is upon us.
No doubt. That's Rick. What you just told him that he's doing a good job doing his backgrounds, because that's what the background is supposed to do. You know what I mean? While we might get deep in a conversation or something, you might want to look around and see what you see back.
Yellow Jackets is back here too now.
No doubt. Yeah.
Yellow Jackets first, but no, that's so. I appreciate you making this a part of the topic tonight, because really our purpose why we started this podcast is to be more informative, help direct you to where the information that you may not be aware of really resides, so we all can have a better understanding of how things are supposed to be done, and know that we're fair across the board, and things happen. Nothing is perfect, but hopefully folks are tuning in, man, so they can get smart about how the town operates. Sure.
No doubt. Have you talked to Coach about the dates? I don't know how many dates have been taken or not.
I think right now we're still in good shape. I'll send Coach. I think we wanted to get the Georgetown game, right?
Yeah.
And so I'll check with him. I'll check with him tomorrow and see what's available. Whatever it is, we'll go ahead and get our name decided and prepare for that.
All right, and send me that update so I can update this right here, so people can plan. They can.
So everybody should. Everybody should be jumping on this thing. It shouldn't be any dates left now. And these are pregame meals that, like Jamal and I did last year. We went out and fed the guys before a game, and this had an opportunity to interact with the players and the coaches, and it was a lot of fun, man. And it's just another way to get them hyped for the game, so you got to do the best job you can.
Yeah. Well, and then I'm gonna end the show right here. But apparently, we need to get a gay guy in there with those guys, according to the former president of the United States, because Barack Obama sat down with his wife and said that what a young black boy needs in his life, most importantly, is a gay man. Now, I don't care that about Barack Obama, but I mean, man, what's wrong with this fool right here?
You sure that's not an AI?
Hey, man, AI? Nah, that wasn't AI. And again, Michelle Obama has the Michelle Obama.
These days,
Michelle Obama, you need to get us on your podcast, sweetheart, because I mean, y'all need some life over there, but your husband, what's wrong with that fool, man? But anyway, I'm gonna tackle that on a whole nother issue. You know what I mean? I'm gonna tackle that, right? Because again, and I'm not a gay basher or anything like that, but you ain't gonna tell me what my son needs most is a gay man in his life, so he can help him understand me better. Like, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, go over and check out the last podcast with Michelle Obama and Barack Obama, which I didn't understand that whole thing in the first place, because I'm like, okay, Michelle Obama, your first guest should be Barack Obama on your podcast. I mean, that's a layup right there. You know what I mean? But again, we're getting off into the weeds of things or whatever. But Mayor, yeah, that's it, man. Unless you got something else you want to add.
No. This is were there any questions out there?
Let's do that. Let's do that real fast.
Again, this is to be informative and to walk away with a better understanding. So,
all right. Yeah. Questions. Anybody got questions? Is there a specific ordinance that somebody may want me to start with, or to?
I will say this: we're at that point in the cycle of the billing and process that if you haven't paid your bill, you might want to go down there tomorrow and see the young ladies and take care of that, because you're inside the danger zone right now if you haven't done that. In fact, I got me a couple nice penalties, and I walk by there almost every day, and it slipped my mind, but there's no excuse. So,
man, I gotta come up with a name with you for you, man. The Mayor H2O or something. I gotta work on that. I gotta play with that. You the water mayor or something. And I can see myself doing a spoof. You know what I mean? With dude sitting over the water like, hey, selling water like dope.
Oh man.
And I'm not making light of people's situation, man. It happens, man. I know one thing. Yeah, AC went on a hit the other night, and I realized that I'm not like the black people from the past, because that AC went on one day and I almost died. Jesus, the fan, like, boy, look at and you imagine living like that your whole life, and you talk about you like them. No, I'm sorry, you're not like them. All right, yo, guys, you see the question and answer thing up there, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's this heat is something different. It overwhelms your system, man. So, yeah, I'm not built like that. Even though I spent a lot of time in the desert, some extreme conditions. But when you're home, you expect your home to be climate controlled and not sweating. I couldn't deal with it. So
I'm sitting here now, the AC on, but I decided to put on a long shirt and these hot lights. Got a hot light right here, and I'm taking sips of Hennessy, and you see me just pouring down.
You're not drinking on the job, all right?
Hey man, listen, hey,
call Rick, to you. This is all water, buddy.
Call to you, but this ain't water right here. This is brown water right here. This is the last of it, but. Yeah, it's listen, man. It's a tough job.
Good thing you're the CEO of this thing.
Hey, there you go. You know what I mean? Yeah. There you go.
Hey, right. Good glass of wine. Let's sip after a long day. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's me, man. I little shot of cognac. I don't do the alcoholic thing now, but I used to like to drink like really good craft beers. And I'll find one every once in a while. It was my favorite beer that I used to buy before my for my fantasy drafts was a beer that they named it after me. It's called Arrogant Bastard. That was my beer. It was it came from a small brewery in San Diego, California, man.
Hey, I'd like to share this with you too, not to change the subject, but I had an opportunity at the conference this week, man, to listen to it turns out to be a brilliant speaker, but just listen to his career path. It was the former governor Beasley. You familiar with him?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wasn't. I was away when a lot of the stuff associated when he was a governor and associated with the Confederate flag just flying over the Capitol, state Capitol.
Yeah, but that was the governor that
and lost to. Yeah, and he lost a Democrat. So I wasn't there, but I will tell you, man, you will not meet a finer gentleman, and he is operating on the world stage with this feeding people around the world. This guy, but his message, to us as leaders, whether you're clergy, mayor, whatever it is, elected official, it is to the people. And just to listen to some of his stories, how he works with presidents and congressmen and all those things to address these kind of issues, and some of the others. He's a brilliant guy. So if you ever have an opportunity to listen to some of his stuff, you'll be inspired. So I've asked him, to come to Andrews because we have some healing to be had around here, at every level. In every venue.
Well, I'll tell you what, the next election, we'll get all that prayer we got before. They didn't stop praying around there. Now, remember during the election, boy, they was praying you know what I mean?
You can't stop praying now.
Yeah. No, you can't. You can't. And I'm saying that I'm being sarcastic because that fell off. We had prayer walks, we had all of this stuff, all this momentum, and then after the election, it was just like, all right, thank you, God. We'll holler at you when we need you again.
Well, you know, and I think those things.
That's my beer right there, by the way.
That's your beer?
Arrogant bastard. There it is.
Yeah, beer's not my thing, and I occasionally have a drink, but we know I believe that I'm still under the protective umbrella of the prayers of my mother.
I know I am. I know I am.
So at some point in time, we individually are going to have to, pick up the same, because again, I'll go back to when Bishop
Mike
Shackelford, was doing this. Those are very powerful, and I believe those prayers coming from these genuine, religious leaders are still working, because we've been through and we will continue to go through some tough times. And if you don't have those out there, and then individually, we're gonna have to pick up this prayer banner and continue to do that. That's what's saving us. And your faith, obviously, you don't lose faith when you come against trouble. And so they're not, no one's going to shake me because I believe I'm here on a divine mission, and I'm going to continue to operate as such, regardless whether I'm having a good day or bad day. That's my belief. That's my foundation. And so it's a little troubling when you, if we don't have all of our leaders, especially in our churches, all working together, and it's tough. It's tough. It has not been, that part has been disappointing, but we're going to pray for better days, man.
All right. No doubt. Yeah, man, that's, I'm gonna clip this out. So, but yeah, we're good right here. Again, till next week, sir. I appreciate you. Again,
yes,
nobody came in with any questions, so I guess they're pretty much
other than Miss Jessica, which was a good question. And so, but anytime you guys have any questions, just give us a call up there, and we'll get to you as soon as we can.
Yep. Hit my inbox, or again, make sure, man, just do yourself. This is some good reading, especially if you live in the town of Andrews, on these ordinances, man. I mean, you can start from one and go on through. It all applies to you. That's the whole thing. It applies to you. Okay. So, but all right, y'all have a good rest of your day. And let me put this up here for my boy Timmy. I always gotta leave him a jewel. A reminder. All right, in the stream,
we have a landlord that owns the property that refuses and makes excuses on fixing what needs to be fixed, because he do not want to pay to have it fixed properly.
Let me share a success story. Hi, I'm Tim. I'm a retired nurse who, over the last 3 years, has acquired $15 million in assets under management in mobile home parks.
So at the end of the day, it's like he's making excuses and trying to avoid paying, because he invested in some property to make a profit, but he made a bad investment, and he do not want to be responsible for the investment that he made. So at the end,
we're scaling our portfolio to $105 million by 2027. Right now, we're looking for capital for deals and partners who want to join us in exchange for equity.
So at the end of the day, he's making us suffer.
We've had numerous tenants complete their rent-to-own contracts, and they're always overjoyed. Once their contract is finished, they own their home outright and only pay lot rent, which is way cheaper than anything else in the area.
Now, we have had sewer problems. Our water, since Mother's Day, we completely lost water. The pressure was low. DHEC came out, Roto-Rooter came out, and they explained to him what it would cost to fix the problem.
Let me share a success story. Hi, I'm Tim.
He refused to pay what's needed to be paid to have it fixed properly. We was out of water for 7 weeks. Our sewer's backing up right now. Roto-Rooter is down there, been down there for the last 2 years trying to fix this problem.
We're scaling our portfolio to $105 million by 2027.
Patching it, calling him and he got approved on what they need to do to have it fixed. And they're telling me that he won't approve for the amount of money that they're going to charge him to fix it. So at the end of the day, would anybody be willing to fix it if he will pay to have it done? He refused to do that because he feels like he's losing money.
Let me share a success story. Hi, I'm Tim. I'm a retired nurse who, over the last 3 years, has acquired $15 million in assets under management in mobile home parks.
Because it's nothing but an investment. This is a rich man that just don't want to spend no money on a low-income community.